Yeah, this one's for the voices still waiting to be heard. For the stories that never made the news, we don't forget. Yeah, face hits hard for the ones we miss. Stories in the shadows, justice on our lips. Mowing coal, we don't let go, cause every heart deserves to be known. We rise up, truth on the line. Names in the dark still need to shine. This beat's for the broken, for the lost, for the stolen. We speak to the silence is golden. Another face on a flyer, another name in the code. But we bring warmth where the story's untold. Piece by piece, we rewind that frame. Chasing justice, not the fame. From small towns to the city lights, we keep that memory burning bright. It's more than a mystery, it's love, it's pain. We carry their truth through the rain. Face hits hard for the ones we miss. Stories in the shadows, justice on our list. Mowing coal, we don't let go, cause every heart deserves to be known. We rise up, truth on the line. Names in the dark still need to shine. This beat's for the broken, for the lost, for the stolen. We speak till the silence is golden. We see the faces, feel the ache. A family's hope that the world won't break. Every tear's got a reason, a name, a sound. And we'll keep searching till they're found. This community is more than a chat. It's hearts together, back to back. This healing starts when the truth unfolds, and every story deserves to be told. For the mission, for the silence, for every name the world forgot. We remember. Yeah, face hits hard for the ones we miss. Stories in the shadows, justice on our list. Mowing coal, we don't let go, cause every heart deserves to be known. We rise up, truth on the line. Names in the dark still need to shine. This beat's for the broken, for the lost, for the stolen. We speak till the silence is golden.
Hey guys, how are we today? I'm so glad to see you guys. Hey Debbie, how are you? I I sent you a message the other day. I went back through my chat and I saw that you had an appointment, so I hope that it went well. And there's Vanessa, Nature Rocks, how are you? And Chroma Chronicles, she's listening to us. I'm so glad to have you. And Elizabeth, how are you? And Neat, how are you? Thank you. Thank you so very much. Neat and I were speaking privately the other day, and we were talking about all the missing cases and how that a lot of times law enforcement and other places they act like, oh, it's just another one, and they're all expendable. And so it gave me an idea for that intro because each child is a soul that's precious, and we need to speak up for all of them. And so I put that together, and I really really like it. Last week I didn't go live last week because I was working on a separate case, and I had everything ready. And on Thursday night there was some bad information that came out, but I would still like to talk to you guys for just a second about him. Let me let me get everything here, just for a few minutes. Let me see here. My my pictures didn't save, but I can get to them a different way. Just one second. Um, this is 19-year-old Owen Kinney. Oh my goodness, you guys, what did I do? Oh no. Oh no, I hit it too soon. Let me see here. I'm a mess today. Well, we're gonna have to hold it like that for a second. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is old Owen Kinney. There we go. Okay. And he graduated from Red Bank Catholic High School. Hey Alma, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see all you guys. And just in 2024, so a very young fella, but he was going to school down here in Charleston. He went to the College of Charleston in South Carolina, and he was a member of a fraternity. And when I looked at his TikTok, hey Tony, good to see you. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are the bestest. Somebody was letting their a panel member speak badly to their chat the other day, and I said there is no way that anybody on my panel would ever speak bad to my chatters because they're my friends. Like I know each of you personally, and I would never allow that. But that just made me think about that. It is Elizabeth. It absolutely is. But when I looked at Owen's TikTok, he had so many friends, and I'd say that a lot of them were in his fraternity with him, but they even went to, I think it was China and Europe, and they were always doing stuff, it seemed like, which I know that, you know, a lot, people don't share a lot, when they're upset and things like that. But, so on Halloween night, he was at a get together, and he left about 2 a.m. and he um he walked for almost 2 hours, and he was just minutes from his house. And his last ping was on a bridge called the Ravenel pedestrian walkway, I think, and it's a huge bridge. And Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge pedestrian walkway. And I looked on it on Google Earth, and it's huge. And that was his last ping around 3 a.m. And he was reported missing the next day. And his friends said that they had tried to ping his location maybe through Find a Friend or something, but they said his phone was out of battery, I believe. So he was reported the next day. And then on the 6th, the day before I was about to do my live to spread awareness for him, the Charleston PD made a statement, and it says, after reviewing recently recovered video footage, detectives confirmed through direct observation that at 3:49 a.m. on October 31st, 2025, Owen took his own life after walking onto the Ravenel Bridge pedestrian walkway. And so, and you've been there. From what I could tell from Google Earth, it was huge. But they said that it's through direct evidence. So I guess they found a camera where they saw him do that, and I just felt awful, absolutely awful for his family, such a young kid. And I just dropped a link in the chat. Please reach out to somebody, guys, somebody. He had his whole life ahead of him, and a lot when I look back now, when I was his age, I would just think that the world was ending over lots of stuff. And then it passes so quickly, and then you think, well, why was I so upset about something so small? But at the time it doesn't seem small at all. It seems huge. And so I just wanted to mention him. Yeah, Elizabeth, he was just 19. And so that was on the 6th when they said that they'd found video evidence. And then on November the 8th at 8:45 a.m., Charleston Police Harbor Patrol units with assistance from the Mount Pleasant Police Department, Charleston County Rescue, and the Charleston County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a body in the water near Patriots Point, and then they confirmed that it was him. So at least, the family, it's not closure. I don't like to say closure, but at least is a resolution. And so I wanted to explain to you guys why I wasn't here last week, because I didn't think there was any help that I could do, at the time. And so I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Owen too. Hey Debbie. Um I have a Okay. And also now I wanted to tell you guys about my about the other case that I was looking into, that I was getting ready for this last week. Well, for this week. And I had it on my community tab, and it was we're just going to have to look at me big for today, guys. I don't know how to fix it back at the moment. Oh my goodness. Okay, and it was about James Gestwicki, and he was. I shared information about him on my community tab, and it made me really, really sad, you guys, because his mama, it was from a different state, and she came to the Gallatin area to look for him. And there was a lady, Jules, and her friend that had a canine, and it was just them two and the family that was looking for him for a lot of those days, you guys. And I was thinking, Gallatin is not far from from where the from where Sebastian Rogers went missing, and James, he was autistic too. And so I was just thinking, where was everybody at spreading awareness for him, you know? Um, and so that hurt my feelings too. And he had only lived in the Gallatin area for about 5 months, and he was 24 years old. And he was living at a center that was focused around addiction and mental health. And he was learning to live independently. And that's him and his mama, Danielle, and she goes by Danny. And he was last seen on November 3rd around 4 p.m. in the area of that where he was staying at. And so I had to make an update. Let me show you guys, read the statement from his family. So I had everything together to spread awareness for him. And then I saw this statement from his family. And you guys, I watched where his mama would come home every night after they did their searching, and it was just devastating to see how upset she was. And she would ask for prayers every single time. Her and the lady from the podcast that was helping her look, they would both ask for prayers every single time, and that touched my heart. But I wanted to read this to you guys. This is what I saw. They have a Facebook page, and that's where they would talk about the searches daily and stuff. And then I woke up and saw this, and it says, James, hang on just a second. Okay. James Gestwicki, 24, went missing from Gallatin, Tennessee on November 3rd, 2025. He was a brother, a son, a grandson, a friend, and was so deeply loved. On the evening of November 10th, 2025, the incredible detective and team with the Gallatin Police Department on James' case notified the family that James was located and he was no longer with us. The family is grief stricken and processing this week leading up to their worst fears coming true and have asked for prayers for their family and friends. See, they asked for prayers again, you guys. James's parents are asking for respect as they move forward. They are eternally thankful for all who have stepped up to help them during this unimaginable week. Although James has now been found, the family begins their journey of loss. There will be many questions, and the family will answer all they can when they can. Rest in peace, James. Jules Thorpe. She was the podcast lady that was helping them do boots on the ground searches, and I watched her search that she did for him too. But I was going to speak about him on my live today. Um, but I just wanted to share those two young men with you today, anyways, and it makes me really sad, you guys. They didn't say um, anything about what James passed away from or how he was found, but it on the Gallatin PD they just said that he was located, and they didn't say, well, anybody with information reach out and here's the phone numbers or anything like that. So take that what you will, but I still wanted to mention it, you guys. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Melodee. And the last time that we talked about Melodee was 2 weeks ago. Can you guys believe that? And I was really hoping and praying that she would be found by now. But so much has happened in this 2 weeks' time. After I did my live stream about her, I made a new update on my community tab, and the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office put out they're really really good. This is the most detailed case that I've had where a sheriff's office has put so much out and been so transparent, and I really really appreciate that. But first, let's remember who we're talking about today. Melodee was 9 years old when she went missing on October 14th, but now we know that she was actually last seen on October the 9th. But let's remember, so we're talking about, and some of the other side of her family, they put out this little, let me see here, this little video of her that I think is just the cutest.
Move your hand. There you go.
I have all that.
Got freckles.
I know. I got kisses.
I thought that was just the cutest. And then they put out another little video of when she was a baby.
Melodee,
and this is with one of her
Melodee,
cousins.
kiss the baby.
Melodee,
Kisses.
Melodee, kiss the baby.
Melodee,
Kisses.
Melodee, kiss the baby.
And a lot of either side of the family hadn't seen her in about 4 years. So this picture of her is 2 years old, at least. And we're speaking about, remember, she has a big sister, Karina, and this is when Melodee was first born. So we're talking about Karina's baby sister, and we're talking about Rubiel. This is her dad, and he was killed in a motorcycle accident when she was only about 6 months old. So we're talking about Rubiel's daughter, and that's her mama, Lily. We're talking about Lily's granddaughter. So I just wanted to reiterate that, because sometimes we forget that these people that we speak about, they're not just on a TV or true crime story. These are real people. And so I just wanted to remind us of that at the beginning. But so after I made that post, they came out with a video. They did share a video. And remember the last time I told you guys that about the fake AI video. Well, they did end up releasing surveillance footage, and this is the only surveillance footage that they have came out with. So if you guys see any other videos, they're not true. This is the only one. And this was the same day, October 7th, of the when they first started that cross country trip to Nebraska and back, and that was on October 7th. Remember that we saw these photos earlier? Well, they ended up releasing that video too, and that was the same day. And so they came out with that map too. That's what I put on my community tab, and that will help us today. And they named some places that they were really interested in, because they said they had surveillance footage. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm going to have to get it together. I don't know what happened. Okay, so they came out with, they said that they had surveillance footage, and Melodee was seen on October 9th, 2025. So they're interested in these areas specifically, and they're saying to check your surveillance cameras. And, hey, Heatherlicious, how are you? Good to see you. So Green River, Utah, Panguitch, Utah, Northwest Arizona, Primm, Nevada, and Rancho Cucamonga, California. And that's going to help us today, because I do have some witnesses from that area talking, and they said that they believe that they saw Ashley with somebody with purple hair on that day. So let me see here. Let me get us there. So then we get to October the 7th, I believe is when it was. And Ashley is arrested. Yep. So the video came out the 6th, and on the 7th, Ashley was arrested. And so I found this video of when she was arrested. And she's barefoot. And the neighbor said that a whole bunch of people rolled up all at once, and they told her, open the door, we're going to break it down. You know, they meant business. And they said that Ashley did look scared. She did look scared when she was arrested. But she was not arrested for anything to do with Melodee. And I'll tell you guys more about that. And I have to be careful, because she was arrested for false imprisonment from this guy named Tyler. And I'm going to do my best to share what I can, but he has been sending creators cease and desist on TikTok. And I do have a News Nation video, and they tell a whole lot more about him, but I don't have News Nation money. You feel me? So I got to be kind of careful. But let's read exactly what Santa Barbara Sheriff said about her arrest. And she's at court today. And I didn't see if she's had court yet. I wasn't able to find any updates about that. But it says, sheriff's detectives have arrested 40-year-old Ashley Buzzard on charges unrelated to the ongoing search for her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melodee Buzzard. Detectives learned of a recent incident where Ashley prevented a victim from leaving a location against their will, which constitutes false imprisonment. This crime is not connected to the ongoing search for Melodee. However, detectives are unable to fully outline the crime, as it would impede the ongoing investigation. So that seemed kind of sus, but when you guys hear what exactly happened, that part will make sense. But it says, on Friday, November 7th, detectives arrested Ashley on a warrant for a felony charge of false imprisonment. She will be booked at the Northern Branch Jail with a bail set at $100,000, and they're not releasing her booking photo. So what today was is even if she could have came up with that 100,000, she wouldn't have been released until she saw a judge, and she has to prove where her money is coming from. And so they so even if somehow she does come up with the money, they still have to prove that. And so if I hear anything else about what happened at court today, I'll let you guys know. But I found a so the guy Tyler that ended up was involved in the false imprisonment charges. The incident happened on November the 6th, so the day before she was arrested. And he made a post about it on his Facebook. And I'll show you guys that. I've had to edit it so that because what I said before, but it says limited comment on active investigation involving Ashley Buzzard. Due to widespread public speculation surrounding an active missing child investigation, I am issuing a limited statement to ensure accuracy and to protect the integrity of the case. When Melodee was reported missing, I contacted Ashley Buzzard solely to offer assistance in locating a missing child. I am a legal document assistant, process server, mandated reporter, and perceived officer of the court. In that capacity, I immediately reported all concerning communication and inconsistencies directly to law enforcement. On November 6th, during an interaction at her residence, the situation escalated. Miss Buzzard became visibly distressed after sharing information she appeared to regret disclosing. And what we're going to watch from News Nation, they said that Tyler said that Ashley told him where she dropped Melodee off at and with whom, and she started getting upset, regretting that she told him that. That's what he told News Nation. A box cutter was produced, and despite multiple requests to be allowed to exit the home, I was not immediately permitted to leave. The door was secured by several locks, which delayed my ability to exit. This incident was reported to law enforcement. And see right here, he says a box cutter was produced. And some places are saying that she threatened him with a box cutter. So I don't really know the truth there. And he says, I'm also in communication with Melodee's father's family, who share the same objective, locating her and ensuring her safety. I will not provide further details at this time, as this remains an active investigation and search effort. My position has never changed. Find Melodee, protect the investigation, bring her home safely. And so now his Facebook is gone. And but he made that post on his Facebook, and then here he replied this to somebody under that, and he says, for clarity, Ashley invited me to her home after I sent her my contact information. I've known her for years, but I had not seen her or Melodee since Melodee was around 6 at the Santa Maria courthouse. I have never met Melodee's father's family in person, and only began speaking with one member of his family after Melodee went missing. The police were contacted within 1 minute of me leaving the house on the day of the incident. At this point, the focus needs to come back off of me and back onto Melodee. Finding her is the only goal we should share. And then somebody asked him right here to they said, OMG, would you be willing to speak with Gisela at Grizzly True Crime? Please reach out to her if willing to discuss further. Let's help find Melodee. And he says, I'm not doing interviews. This isn't about me. It's about Melodee. Anything that shifts the focus away from her or turns this into commentary about me isn't helpful. My only goal is finding her and keeping the attention where it belongs. Thank you for caring about this. Let's keep it centered on her. And so I thought that was good. Hey, Trista, how are you? Good to see you. And so some people are giving this guy grief because when he posted this also in the Find Melodee Facebook group, and he added his business card under that, and people were giving him grief for that. But I wanted to show that where he replied to somebody about how he's not doing interviews and stuff like that. And so I think people are giving him a hard time, maybe not undeserved. But I found this video, and I guess he did speak to somebody at News Nation before he decided not to do any more interviews. He's not on screen or anything, but he does speak to somebody here. And let me see here.
We want to show everyone.
I also dropped the link for you guys if you want to see it later. Yeah, Van, that's what I was thinking too. I don't give him grief for that.
We want to show everyone that criminal complaint. We just got it a short time ago from Superior Court, Santa Barbara County. It's really just less than a page long, but we want to highlight some parts of it because it is quite revealing about what allegedly happened at this house on or around November 6th, it says, of 2025 in the county of Santa Barbara. The crime of false imprisonment by violence, a felony, was committed by Ashley Buzzard, who did unlawfully violate the personal liberty of Tyler.
And I heard somewhere else, you guys, that this crime that she's charged with, that she faces 3 years in prison. So I thought that was interesting.
S. Brewer, said violation being affected by violence, menace, fraud, and deceit. And you see that headline, special allegation, aggravating factors. It goes on to read, the manner in which the crime was carried out indicates planning, sophistication, and professionalism. We have learned that Ashley will be in court on Wednesday afternoon to face.
The manner in which the crime was carried out indicates planning, sophistication, or professionalism. That's interesting because he said that she had a bunch of locks on her door, so she did take time to lock the door and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they're talking about here.
This felony charge. In the meantime, she remains jailed up in the Santa Maria area. And Ashley, as you know, we have tracked down Tyler S. Brewer, and we have spoken with him. And bear with me as I'm going to refer to my notes because I want to relay what he told us accurately. Tyler Brewer tells us that he has known Ashley through a friend since 2014. He's been coming over here to check on her since all of this was publicized. He claims he was told where Melodee was dropped off and who she was left with, but he is not sharing that information with us.
I'm glad he's not sharing that information with us. I'm so glad he's not sharing that information with us. But I have no doubt that he reported that to authorities as quickly as he could. But another person that I'm going to show you guys in just a few minutes, he is a private investigator that started working on the case, and he brought a care package to Ashley too during this time. And he said that she spoke to him, but she spoke incoherently. So do you think that what she told this Tyler was correct about where she took Melodee and who she left her with? Like, I hope so. I pray so.
Also concerned that because of Ashley's mental history and recent behavior, he's not sure that what she told him is actually true. Now, on November 6th, the day of the incident, he says Ashley started acting irrationally while he was here, accused him of working with police and the paternal side of the family to take Melodee away from her. He says she kept shutting her eyes and making fists, and she blocked the door, preventing him.
Do you guys think that also? So she accused Tyler of working with the Mesa family. So do you think that that's what all of this was about? Even though that side of the family, some of them even thought that Melody had been adopted out, and so they hadn't spoken to her in 4 years. But do you still think that in her mind that's what she possibly thought, and in her mind she's possibly protecting Melody from that side of the family? I think that that's a huge possibility. And the private investigator, unfortunately, he thinks by the travel and stuff, he thinks that it could either be human or drug trafficking. And I think those are the other two possibilities too.
Him from leaving. She slammed the front door shut and engaged 4 locks on that door. She did eventually let him leave, and he went right to authorities to report what happened. Now, he claims she has just mental issues. She's extremely paranoid. She's a totally different person from when they first met, and he says he's very concerned about Melody's well-being, and he suspects Melodee may be somewhere in Utah. So based on everything that he told News Nation, there is hope that Melodee is out there and alive. So what Tyler Brewer is telling News Nation, providing a lot of hope tonight, Ashley.
Well, let's go over a little bit of that. That's just incredible information that he has unloaded. So Nancy, if I'm to understand this, he says that Ashley
People are saying that this photo where Melody was younger, they said that was about 4 years ago, and that is Ashley with her. So look at the right, how both have drastically changed in a relatively short amount of time. So that's very concerning too. Some people said that you get weight gain with certain antidepressants and things like that, and so possibly that's what Ashley was taking, that fluctuated her weight, and since she's so much smaller now, they think that she could possibly have stopped taking them. So that is very concerning too.
shared the information of where she, quote unquote, dropped off Melodee. He thinks it's in the Utah area. He will not share exactly with us what she apparently shared with him. But did he say he shared everything with the police, everything that Ashley told him?
Yeah, based on what we're hearing, we haven't heard everything. And again, because of her mental state and how she's been acting lately, he's not sure that what she's been saying is the truth. So it's hard to know what to believe, but, you know, he is telling us what she told him. And if it is truthful, then Melodee is out there.
And did we get any further understanding of what drop off means? I mean, you don't just drop a child, you know, on a desert road. Was there some, I mean, do we know if there was some drop-off location, some person, someone to care for her? Anything more that indicates what kind of a drop-off this was?
We've been fishing for information. We want more information, and he's not quite ready to tell more information. His name just got released publicly within the last couple of hours, so he's just coming to terms with that. He's not sure, you know, he wants to do interviews or speak out publicly in any way.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based.
Neat just made a really good point. She says the thing is, she wouldn't be required to let the other side of the family see her. If that were the case, Mom would safely tell the police where Melody was. That is a great point. That's a very great point. That's why I love to do live streams to talk to you guys instead of just posting videos, because you guys always think of things that I forget, that I don't think about. The next video that I have pulled up that I want to show you guys, it is, remember those places from that map that I was telling you guys about? The places in Utah and Northern California. So the news has been following has been going to these places, and there is one certain part that I found where a lady at a gas station, she says that she saw Ashley on the day that Melodee, where they said she was last seen on the 9th. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then I'll show you the private investigator that is helping on the case.
Try to find Melodee.
Samantha Hoffman is in Panguitch for us, talking to residents about what they've seen and heard there.
My first stop was the Bear Valley Country Store and gas station. The store owner informed me of 3 stops the FBI made, believing to be along the route of Melodee and her mother. The store owner said the FBI came by on October 25th. They told her they located Ashley Buzzard's phone using the cell tower and believe she crossed the SR20 and US 89 intersection beside their store.
They wanted our video footage, which saves for 2 weeks. And unfortunately, we were 2 days past that, so we weren't able to find anything for them.
I then traveled 20 minutes north to Stan's Market in Circlesville, which also had no saved video footage. Notably of that stop, there were no printed photos of Melodee or her mom. Did the FBI give you any photos to share with people?
No.
6 miles later, I stopped at Junction, a potential sighting. The store manager of the Junction pit stop in Phillips.
So the place where they pinged Ashley's phone, they had barely missed the 2 weeks for the surveillance footage. So that was no help. And the news said that they didn't even have any photos up of Ashley. And of Melodee. But that's another thing that I'm gonna drop a link in the chat, and it is the FBI's newest poster for Melodee. If you guys want to see that and share it that way. My Nightbot was, man, my technology has just gone crazy today. My Nightbot wouldn't let me edit links, so I had to make a new one. So hopefully that one works. Who knows? But this is the one that's coming up, is where the lady said that she absolutely saw Ashley on that day, and she's going to tell us what she saw.
66 gas station said an employee spotted Melodee's mom on October 9th around 5 p.m. When I called the employee, she said she was certain she saw the mother, Ashley, after seeing her photo from the FBI agent, remembering her curly blonde wig.
It was really, really freaking weird because she just like opened the door at the store, head in, and then said, "Did you guys know you have a whole bunch of kittens out here?"
Matthew said the woman then got in her car with a woman with purple hair. She guessed to be around 30.
I kind of walked towards the door going, "What the crap was that?"
She says she thinks the lady with the purple hair that was in Ashley's car, she believes that that lady was around 30. But do you guys think that it could have possibly been Melodee? Because she does unfortunately look way older than her 9 years, and she could have had a purple wig on, so, but I'm not sure. It depends. But look where the cars are. They're close to the door, so she had a good look at her, so I'm not sure.
When they left and noticed that they had a California license plate.
She does not remember any transaction made as she was working in the back of the store. Overall, the store said not many people know about Melodee's disappearance.
It's a crazy situation and horrible, and the little girl should be found. And I mean, there's a lot of nature, a lot of woods around here, so it's like if this is where she was the day before she got home, like, who knows, anything could happen.
The Junction pit stop store manager said they believe Ashley Buzzard to be using cash, so they checked for cash transactions from that day, but say it's difficult to tie to an individual. In Junction.
So after the news did that report, the PI that was working with the Mesa family, he decided to go to that place too. And so I wanted to show you guys a little bit about him from there. And this Bill Garza, he is a really good seasoned private investigator. He has been working for about 30 years, and out of the 300 cases that he's worked on, he's solved about 1/3 of them. So that's 100 cases. That's good stats in my opinion. And he worked on the Danielle Van Dam case, and she was a 7-year-old little girl back in, I believe it was 2002, and she was taken from her bed and murdered, and he helped find her body. And he also worked on the Cal City Boys case. So he has worked on a lot of cases. So, and I just get a good vibe from him. I don't know how good my vibes are, like, especially with men, you feel me? But I do get a good vibe from him, and he seems sincere. And so I feel like he's, and I think he's also working pro bono. So I have one small video from him, and then I have a more lengthy interview from him too. I thought that would be interesting to watch.
Thanks. And tonight we're talking to a private investigator hired by missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard's family.
Her mother, Ashley Buzzard, returned from a road trip without her. They were last seen on the Utah-Colorado border. 2 News' Samantha Hoffman went to Junction to meet with the private investigator that's now working the case.
The amount of people on this case only continues to grow. It started with the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department on October 14th. Then the FBI got involved on October 18th, and now so does a highly experienced private investigator from California. His name is Bill Garcia. Melodee's aunt first got Garcia involved in this case. Now he's retracing the steps of Melodee and her mom.
She definitely came through here, and my job is to figure out why and where she may have gone.
Bill Garcia has solved hundreds of missing children cases for over 30 years.
There's a reason why she went off the main highway.
Today, Garcia went to the Junction pit stop where a worker told me she saw Ashley on November 9th. He handed out more photos, which locals said they hadn't seen before. The witness had told me they believe they saw Ashley with a woman with purple hair.
He handed out more photos that they said they hadn't seen before. So even just that is great. Even just little things like that is really, really good.
That's not the norm for anybody that lives in this area.
He said there's a small airport just a few hundred yards out of town and worries the woman could be someone picking up Melodee.
If it is an organized routine, could somebody have possibly came in a small unnoticed plane, swooped up the child and taken her wherever for whatever reason?
Now Garcia's heading about an hour north of Junction because Ashley often shops at Walmart.
I'm going to go ahead and work up towards the top part of Highway 89 where it intersects with Interstate 70. There's a large Walmart.
Guys, I also thought about something that just hit my brain. So this trip that Ashley took started on October 7th, and she was back home on October 10th. It's a 3,000-mile trip. And so even, I don't think you could do that with a whole lot of sleep, And so even if what she tells Tyler, if she even with just lack of sleep, even without mental illness, you might get things confused. So that's worrisome too.
Facility there.
The Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department told me they received a steady stream of people coming forward with past sightings of Ashley or Melodee, but are unable to share them without hurting the integrity of the investigation. Garcia pointed out that because of Ashley's arrest for an unrelated crime, detectives have until Thursday for questioning or a mental health evaluation.
I'm hoping that actually will help her both get well and divulge where Melodee is and if she's okay.
Garcia also spoke with Ashley in California and gave her his business card. He said that she mumbled and didn't converse with him in a, quote, meaningful way. In Junction, Samantha Hoffman, KTV2 News.
There's your woman, Carl. You got a better look at her. So this is a longer interview that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's from a channel called Criminally Obsessed, and she helps that news station that we were just seeing. They work together a lot, and I'll share this with you guys if you want to watch it later. But I think it's really interesting, so I wanted us to
The reason I'm
check it
here
out.
right now is because of your reporting, and we're following up with any other leads that we might develop as we go.
That's private investigator Bill Garcia. He's got 30 years in the field, and he specializes in missing persons cases. And now he's in Utah, retracing the same route that 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard took with her mom, Ashley, through 5 states, 3,000 miles. It's a bizarre 3-day trip, complete with wig changes and switched license plates. Could Melodee have been dropped off along the way, and with whom? She's been missing for more than a month. I'm Ann Emerson with Criminally Obsessed, and we have been on this case since day one. We've been tracking leads, verifying sightings, and working with law enforcement from California to Utah. Bill's working pro bono for Melodee's father's family and chasing a possible sighting that could change everything.
As soon as he showed me the picture of the lady in her wig, I was like, oh, hey, I do remember that.
This is our exclusive update from the road. What Bill's finding, what investigators still won't say, and why this search for Melodee is taking us deep into Utah's backcountry. Before we dive in,
let me show you guys something else first. I forgot about this. This lady, that her mom lives next door to Ashley, and so she's been on top of it, showing everything. And it reminded me, because that Criminally Obsessed that we're watching that did an interview with Bill Garcia, she also did an interview with this lady, Casey Monreal. And they got this. This was on 10/29, and it shows Ashley removing the posters that the community has put out there all through here. I don't know if you guys can see my my mouse, but all through here. And she lives right here. She's getting out of a ride share because she doesn't have a car, and so the community has left pictures with Melodee's face on there out in front of her house, and she picks and chooses and removes certain ones. And I was thinking, well, maybe she's removing the ones that have fallen or things like that. And Casey said that she is removing the ones that has Melodee's picture on them, and so that kind of makes me icky. But you know, it could be because she misses her. I don't know. I'm trying to give her a break, you guys, but this is hard. I don't think that there is any good reason, you know. But she also said that I think the day after this is when the FBI and everybody came in and did a big search, and they removed her from the premises for a while. And Casey said on that day that she was in the backyard and was crying, and she did feel sorry for her then. So, and she also said that her mama said whenever they would leave the house, they lived there for about 2.5 years. And whenever they would leave the house, that she would make Melodee wear a hood. And even if it was 90 degrees weather, she would make her wear a hoodie and cover herself up. And so that leads me to believe that she was trying to keep her hidden for 2 years. You know, so I thought that was interesting. And if you guys want to check her out on TikTok, it's Monreal805, and she shows everything, you know, that she catches on her mama's security camera, since she lives right next door. But that made me think of that really fast, so I wanted to tell you guys. And she takes those into her house, and she doesn't throw them away out front. So that's kind of interesting too. Now I'll take us back to that video. I will figure it out, you guys, next time, so you don't have to look at my big face on here. I don't know what I did.
tap subscribe to Criminally Obsessed, and please share this video to keep Melodee's story in the spotlight.
So this is where I am. If you can see that gas station back there.
So you made it to the Phillips 66 and where we were talking about in Junction, Utah.
Correct.
And what are you
Correct.
learning?
Well, I'm learning that women with purple hair is not a norm in this community. There isn't that type of hair style or color for anybody that lives in the area. So most likely it would be somebody that would be transient or just passing through, as opposed to living in this area, even though it is pretty rural.
Ashley made this trip all the way up to the Nebraska area. Is that what you're going based on, and that this was the return trip?
Well, that's what Sheriff's Department is indicating, that this is the return trip, and they haven't divulged the outgoing trip from California. But the way I see it is, if what they're wanting is information on the return trip because they saw Melodee in the vehicle when the vehicle crossed from Colorado into Utah, then unless there's something specific about the outgoing trip, this would be the most important part of that road trip, because we know that Melodee was in the vehicle when they crossed over into Utah, not too far from here, maybe within 100 miles.
Wow. So that does give you a lot more to work with as far as where you're looking at right.
I saw a video that that Ashley's mama did, and she said that they both sides of the family knew people in this area, and that they had friends in this area. So that's a big lead to look into first. At first, they only knew that she went to Nebraska, and Ashley's mom said that they didn't know anybody in Nebraska, but now that since they said they went to this certain area in Utah on the return trip, she says that they both knew people in this area, so that's a good lead too.
Right now, based on this information.
Well, based on that, the map is a good lead, because if it's accurate, the Sheriff's Department put out a route which shows Ashley and Melodee moving from Colorado into Utah along I-70. And then instead of staying on I-70 to Interstate 15, which would take them straight south into lower Utah and then in through Nevada and the return trip, why would they veer off of a major highway onto a rural route, which is Rural Route 89, which is kind of a back way that kind of parallels the main highway? And I think that that was chosen for some particular reason, but I don't know what it is. My biggest clue would be they want to stay off of a main interstate, even though I'm not sure that they felt that they were actually being looked for at that point. So to me, that's an interesting point or fact. That's why we started here. A couple of reasons.
But you're special.
He said that they stayed off the main interstate, even though they didn't know that they were being looked at that time. But I beg to differ, because remember on that community post that I shared, Ashley had switched the license plate to a New York license plate during this trip, and by the time she gets the rental car back, it has the California license plate back. And they also switched their they also switched their wigs during this time too, and so Ashley was avoiding detection this whole trip, in my opinion.
Is missing children. That's what you work in. Is
Elizabeth Mesa, which is the Melodee's aunt, and I started talking, and she was very adamant about finding Melodee, and that really struck me as someone who wanted to do everything possible. If they could, they'd be out here instead of me. But people have lives and they've got children and families and what have you, and I'm able to make this run to at least help quell some of the emotions and frustrations that they have, because law enforcement doesn't necessarily tell them everything. And I'm here kind of to bridge that gap and provide information to both law enforcement and to the families. And we're proven. We've been at this a long time. We've had a lot of successes. We've had some really sad cases, but in the end, we at least get somewhere.
Bill,
And
what is your feeling about this right now as you sit in the middle of Junction, Utah, following up a lead that we were able to, start to figure out a little bit? What's your next step here?
Well, it's funny. I routinely end up in the middle of nowhere. And this is probably as closest to nowhere as you can get. A lot of people like that, and it's a gateway to a couple of big national monuments, actually several national monuments. And the fact that Ashley went off of the main highway onto this rural route tells me that, based with the disguises, based with the license plate changes, she may have been trying to be deceptive. And by skirting these areas, it points to a certain set of events. For instance, when Danielle Van Dam went missing, searchers searched for her for the better part of 3 weeks.
This is what I was telling you guys about. This is the little 7-year-old that was taken from her bedroom by a neighbor and unfortunately murdered.
I used the information that was deduced by or disseminated by law enforcement and came up with a theory. And it turned out that my theory was correct. The first location that I placed searchers at is where young Danielle Van Dam's body was found. And so a lot of times you have to put yourself in the mindset of the person who may have done some wrong. And so I used that to follow the leads.
Is there any reason why we should be worried about trafficking at this point?
Well, if you understand the points that sheriffs has indicated, to me, it leads to either drug trafficking or human trafficking. And the things that have been relayed kind of lead in that direction. But I don't know, Ashley. I
didn't like this at all. See, that's what I was telling you guys about. He thought that it could either be drug or human trafficking, unfortunately, and that crossed my mind too, but I'm definitely not a private investigator, so if he thinks that, then that's very, very worrisome.
know if she's into drugs or whether she's into human trafficking. It doesn't appear to be, but I know her very little. Yeah. And so we're hoping to find out here real soon.
They're so lucky to have you there right now. I mean, I can't even imagine how helpful it is to have someone with your background.
It's important.
It is. And what have you been able to learn? I mean, I know you were certainly doing work before you got here to Utah. Is there anything you can share with us as far as understanding what happened to Melodee?
We didn't know where to start. This was not necessarily the initial starting point, but as we do research, as we learn more and more from the Sheriff's Department, as we learn from other sources, we start to develop, okay, where do we hit the ground running? And a couple of nights ago, I gained information that brought me to this area. And unfortunately, I'm not able to disclose what I learned other than this is a great starting area.
Is this the same? Is this part of the reporting that we did, KUTV did, and what Criminally Obsessed did? Or is this something else?
It was really, really freaking weird because she just like opened the door at the store and like halfway poked her head in. And then she said,
the neighbor that I showed you guys the video from her mama's house, she thinks that it was possibly Melodee in the car because she said that there's hardly anybody that goes to Ashley's house and she doesn't associate with a lot of people. So so that was her. That's what she thinks, but I don't know.
Did you guys know you have a whole bunch of kittens out here? And I was kind of surprised. And I said, yeah, we have a whole bunch of little feral kittens. And she said, okay. And then she turned around and got back in the car with the lady with the purple hair. And I was actually on the phone with my husband at the time. And I remember saying, these two really weird ladies just came in and made a comment about the cats. And but that is like the majority of what I remember right there.
Do you have any sort of estimate on how old the woman with the purple hair was? Like whether that was someone younger or older?
She had to be probably late 20s to mid 30s, would be my guess.
Okay. And did
It
you
was
see?
another adult woman.
Okay. And did you see any signs of a child or no?
No, there's nobody else in the car that I could see.
I'm going to bring you one of my cards in, and I'd love to be able to talk to Samantha. We're trying to bring some closure, for the family, and we're hoping to find her.
There's multiple other sources, but the reason I'm here right now is because of your reporting, and I want to interview and evaluate the people here at the Phillips 66 gas station to see if that's actually a viable lead. At minimum, we know that Ashley came through here. Whether she was with a child, whether there was a purple-haired woman with her, we don't know.
Says this person with purple hair, could it have been another wig that was on the child or Melodee, or was it somebody else in the car? All these questions, I guess that's where you need to get answers.
That's correct. Which direction did the car leave? My suspicion was it was dark at that point. So did this person miss who else was in the car? Was this purple-haired woman sitting in the front seat? Did she move into the back seat? Where did she come from? There's a lot of questions from this particular person, as well as sharing information with other people in the area. Because typically, outsiders or non-locals are remembered, especially when they have purple hair or they obviously are wearing wigs and disguise as far as the license plate. So all that is important, and it's pretty draining, but I just try to trudge forward and not forget or miss anything as I go.
Bill, what about this false imprisonment charge that she's being held on? Could you talk to me about why you think that the law enforcement's taking this tactic and what this has to do? I mean, they're saying it's not related to the Melodee disappearance, but tell me why you think that they're holding her right now.
Well, I find that hard to believe that it would not be related, being that Ashley rarely went out. If she did, she took a.
Well, Tyler Brewer was there to speak to Ashley because of the disappearance, and we know that Ashley allegedly told Tyler where she dropped Melodee off at and with whom, so it's definitely related.
Ride-sharing ride out and back, or she'd rent a vehicle, but she didn't seem to have very many friends in the area. She didn't have any visitors, according to a neighbor, and so it has to be something connected to this matter. I've advocated for Ashley all along because I've seen what her history is, and anyone that's had to raise a child from the age of 6 months alone, suffering from any level of mental illness, is very difficult. And knowing that if you don't get help, it's only going to increase. So it's actually interesting that this didn't happen prior. Now, I understand that I understand that Ashley had a similar traumatizing experience at the age of 9. Well, that's interesting because here we have Melodee at the age of 9. And is there any correlation, and what is it? And so we take all these factors, we kind of file them away in our brain, and we bring them up as they.
I forgot to tell you guys about this. So we have seen Ashley's mother, Lori Miranda. She's been on camera a few times, and this newspaper article has surfaced that in 1995, when Ashley was 9 years old, so Melodee's age now, they were homeless for a while, and it shows Ashley with a tutor, and Lori is telling about how that she had to escape her abusive ex-husband and how he would break their windows out and things like that. And so they were homeless for a while and stayed in shelters for a while until her mama could work and save up enough money to get them a new place and things like that. So do you guys think that Ashley, well, obviously she would still carry that trauma around with her, and unhealed trauma can cause problems. And so I don't know if it's a coincidence that Melodee is now 9 years old and they were running like this to avoid detection, and whether somebody was chasing them or not, or what was going on, who knows, but I'm not so sure it was a coincidence.
As they recur. So we're hopeful to be able to decipher. Yeah, so if Ashley talks at all without having any therapy or medication changes or what have you, it may all be gibberish as it was when I talked to her at her home. I had taken her a care package a couple of Sundays ago. On Monday morning, the next day, I was actually able to talk to her in front of her home. And she was, for the most part, incoherent, non-responsive remarks, and then nothing. And so
that's what I was telling you guys. So when he took his care package, she was unresponsive or incoherent to him. So do you guys think that what I guess, with mental illness you can be like this, or you can be direct and say what she told Tyler allegedly where Melodee was and things like that. So, but it is weird to see the differences between the way that he is telling the way she was with him, Mr. Bill, and then what Tyler said the way that Ashley was with him.
Worked as a first responder in emergency medical services for a number of years, and I often saw patients who were placed under 5150 hold, and that should have been available here. Having Ashley assessed, possibly taken in-house to get therapy and treatment, so that we wouldn't be at this point this late in the game. Today is a month and a day that Melodee has not been seen. October 9th was the last time she was seen. And that's a long time for a little girl to be out there somewhere. And we don't know where. We don't know if they're with someone. We don't know if something nefarious has occurred. We just don't know. So we're burning the candle, that's for sure.
So they're going to hold her. They're going to, and when you saw Ashley, she didn't really respond to you. She didn't have much, but you went to her door. Did you have a care package from the family, from Lisbeth?
No, I had conducted surveillance for a number of days. I noticed that she had not come out of the home for 3 days, not at all. She normally would come out, go to the garage, go to the mailbox, but she didn't come out at all. So on Sunday morning, I put a Walmart bag with several food items and a gift note. And it indicated who I was and that there was a group of us that wanted to help her. And we weren't there to judge her or do anything but help her in whatever she needed. But I didn't get a response. So on Monday morning, when she showed up back at the house, I showed up at 6 a.m. She had already left by a rideshare service at 5:50 a.m.
Which day was this?
Last Monday, a week ago Monday. And so I sat there, and shortly after 9 a.m., she returned in this rideshare vehicle, which turned out to be a...
So between Mr. Bill here and Casey, the neighbor, Ashley ain't getting away with nothing. And I would be that kind of neighbor too. I absolutely would. Right now, I'm kind of that kind of neighbor, but I can't help what I see. I call it curious. I don't call it nosy per se. Y'all feel me? But yeah, so he was there scoping out her house at 5 a.m. and then the neighbor is right beside there, and she's got her eye on things too.
Medical shuttle van. And I'm not sure if she went to an appointment or what the deal was, but I was able to get out of my vehicle, walk up to her in the driveway, and then I followed her to the front door, talking to her as we went. And that's pretty much the last only conversation I had with her.
Well, that's very interesting, because right now, like, she's not talking about where Melodee is. Can you, from all of your experience, help us understand why she hasn't been able to express where this child is?
The short response would be, she may emotionally and mentally be unable to remember where she was. Nobody takes a 3,000-mile road trip in 3 days. I mean, I do a lot of driving, but 3,000 miles in 3 days for one person in her mental state, in her physical state, I find that almost impossible. So it's not good. And, we always hope for the best, but we do plan for the worst. And the greatest...
So from my house to the beach in Florida is about 1,000 miles, maybe. So that's like from my holler to the beach and then back. and then back to the beach again in 3 days. That is so much. That's what I was telling you guys. So even without mental health issues, just that driving without sleep can make you delirious too.
Gift would be to say, hey, we know where she is. We found her. Call law enforcement, have them come in and get her, and we all get to go home. And hopefully she is able to live a good life from here on out.
Thank you so much for talking to me about this. I wanted to bring up one thing that right before she got arrested for this false imprisonment charge, which we think she could get out on Wednesday on, she had moving boxes, or she had boxes that could be moving boxes. I have a lot of theories about what those boxes could have been. What do you think?
It looks like that. Looks like she may have been preparing to leave. When I first pulled up there, the garage door was open, I understand, for a long period of time, including overnight. So I was able to take a number of photographs of the interior of the garage with the garage door open from a public distance. And it looked like a number of clothing and appliances, small appliances, and different items.
It does seem like it, just from quickly looking, it does seem like there's a lot of Melodee's things there. So it's good. We've seen a lot of times where the parents of missing children, they get rid of their clothes or get rid of their items for whatever reason. And so it doesn't look like that's the case here. So that's good.
Packed up and then unpacked by the initial search warrant. So it does look like she was getting ready to pack that up. But again, we don't.
Oh, guys, during that search warrant from the FBI on October 30th, the neighbors said that they removed portions of the wall and carpet, and they dug up parts of the garage. So I don't know when Bill's pictures were taken there, but that really concerned me because, when they do things like that, it's forensics, and they're not looking, for a live child at that point for whatever comes back on that. So when I heard that, it was like, oh man, my heart dropped.
I don't know what her mental state was or is. And so it's hard to deduce what that was all about. So one of the things we're doing is we're passing out this flyer to residents and store owners along this route in hopes that somebody remembers seeing either one of them and then contacts the authorities. So we're hoping that helps. And we're following up with any other leads that we might develop as we go.
Bill, how's the family holding up, Elizabeth? And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering right now how they're doing.
They're very emotionally drained. In hindsight, they wish they would have done more early on, but it was Ashley's choice to kind of go away from the family and be on her own. And nobody knows why. This family does care, and this is one of the groups of families that actually really take it above and beyond. I have had families that they just sit back and let everybody else do the work and don't seem to lift a finger. This family is the complete opposite. And so I'm hoping we're able to help and bring some closure for it.
Well, thank you so much. Bill.
He said that the family feels bad that they didn't do much, that they didn't do enough before this. But remember, Ashley took Melodee away for the last 4 years, and they'd actually been told that Melodee was adopted out, so they can only do so much, so I hope that they don't blame themselves too much. We all could do more, we feel, so I think that that's all that I have for you guys today about Melodee. Please continue to check out my community post. I leave updates on there when I don't go live, and if there's anything new to share about her or any of the cases, I'll put it there. But I do want to tell you guys about our good story now. You guys know that a lot of times in law enforcement, they use dogs, right? But the bad thing about dogs is they can only do so much above water, right? And unfortunately, a lot of cases, if searches are done in water, it helps a lot more. I'll say it that way. But I want to show you guys this. This is a 2-year-old otter named Splash, and he is trained for underwater recovery. And he is just the cutest little thing, and I'm going to show you guys a video of him too. And thank you, Carl. Thank you so much. And Van is dropping the she dropped Trista's link. Trista was in here earlier, and Trista has been leaving great devotionals on. She leaves them in my Discord and on her community tab. So please subscribe to her. And Vanessa left her link, and she does the greatest pictures. Kathy really enjoys your pictures, Van. I'm a hype girl too. I was telling Kathy about the white turkeys that Van showed me, and so please subscribe to her and check out her pictures. And she does really good videos too. Um, isn't he the cutest, neat? And so I wanted to show you guys a video that I found of him, and then also I have a TikTok from somebody who's around our community, and they did an event with Splash, and so I wanted to show you guys that too.
The Martin County Sheriff's Office has a new tool to help them solve cases. An otter. Yes, you heard right, an otter.
She said otter. Reporter Angela Rozier introduces us to Splash the otter, shows us how the animal can help in certain investigations.
Well, the sheriff here in Martin County says this is an innovative tool they can use to help solve the cases.
Sorry, I feel bad.
Splash was the otter of the hour here at the Martin County Sheriff's Office Thursday morning. You can't blame him. Just look at that face. He posed for photos. Makes sense. He has his own Instagram account. He loves getting a pat on the back and even kisses. The 2-year-old Asian small-clawed otter isn't just another pretty face. He has a
Yeah, his Instagram is where I went, and I saw somebody in our community that they had helped at one of the events, and so I messaged her and was talking to her about it, and she said that it was absolutely amazing. And I asked her if I could share her TikTok, and she said absolutely. So I'll show you guys that next.
very particular set of special skills.
In Florida, we have a problem with alligators. They grab remains and they stuff them somewhere, and very hard to find because most of the time we're diving in water that is, less than 2 inches of visibility. So everything's tactile. We're touching everywhere, and we miss them. We can't find them. He doesn't have that problem, so he can go right down there and show us where it is.
Splash is trained in human remains detection, and he's part of the dive team. He and his trainer are with Peace River Canine Search and Rescue, a Southwest Florida-based nonprofit organization. Sheriff John Butensieks believes his specialized training makes him an asset to search and recovery efforts right here.
Yes, we will. And again, we have 1 or 2 missing individuals a year that are in bodies of water. And if we can't find them immediately through regular diving techniques, we absolutely will do that.
Splash has been in more than 20 missions.
I'm trying to put the odds in our favor so we get more recoveries, and that's what the otter's for.
He's still young and has plenty of work left to do.
I think we'll be good at 10 years for him, and then he'll retire on the couch and watch Animal Planet, I guess. I don't know. But
in Martin County, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Oh, he's only 2 years old, guys, and they said he could work until he's 10. Bless his heart. Me too. Okay, now I couldn't get to TikTok, but I was able to find it on Instagram, back on Instagram. So let me see here it's not going to make it bigger here though. Let me see if I can get you guys there the other way. He's just the cutest. I know. I don't know if I could. I'd be worried about him letting him loose in a big river and stuff. I'd be worried so much that he wouldn't come back. Let me see here. Do you guys know Mind of Monsters? That's who did an event with them. And so I'm trying to get to her TikTok to find it. I had it linked, and for some reason it wasn't letting me get, it wasn't taking me back to the specific one that I linked. Let me find it, guys. TikTok's doing me wrong. Doing me bad wrong. What the hell? Oh, I'll get us there. We might have to watch it smaller, though. She has a YouTube channel and she has a TikTok. And she says she's been moving most of her stuff to TikTok. Let me see. I'll show you guys the Instagram. There we go. I won't play the music. Oh, look, guys. Let's see if they do the talking.
Splash the otter. Got a video in. Yep.
That's her. I don't know if you guys had heard. I know, Neat. Me too. How absolutely adorable. Let me see if I can find her YouTube to share with you guys. That's her. I would have been kissing its cheeks off too. Yeah, I found her YouTube channel, so I'll share that with you guys. You too, Carl. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so very much. Thank you all for coming. It really means a lot to me when you guys come because you choose to spend your time with me, time that you can't get back. And so it really, really means a whole lot, and that you guys are interested in these cases too. And we do our part. We do our part.
She's going to give us talk about who she is, and then we're going to look at her beautiful partner.
Hi, my name is Nikki, and this is my dog, Jamboree. Hi, Jam Jam.
Oh yeah, when I messaged her, you guys, she told me she also got to that the dogs were also there, so she also got to play with the dogs, guys.
And Jamie is a tracking dog, so she is trained to find people when they get lost. She is currently cross-training in human remains detection.
That's amazing. Well, thank you both for all you do.
Thank you.
Such a pretty girl.
We love serving our community, really.
Hey, without you guys, it takes all of us.
Yes, definitely.
We're definitely stronger together.
For sure.
We're here at the Peace River Canine Search and Rescue. This is a part.
Elizabeth says that she loves Mom and she's such a nice person. She is. I went to her channel once, Elizabeth, and she was out fishing and she was doing a live stream. And I think it was her and her fella. And I felt like I was really there. I hadn't been fishing since before I got hurt, which I'm sure I need to look it up. I bet that they have handicapped fishing spots, probably where you can pull right up with your wheelchair. But I felt like I was right there, and it was so neat, and she was so kind, and that's the first time I'd been to her channel, so she's really, really nice, Elizabeth.
Part of the team. So tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Maria Angelina. I'm the Vice President of Peace River. I also am the Director of Equine Operations. We have a host team of about 10 that we're training for area search and cadaver. And I have 2 dogs that I train.
Perfect. And here with us today
is Beamer.
This is Beamer.
Did you have a trainer at the zoo that worked? Beamer's been working since 2016. He's a cadaver dog and a tracking dog. And
oh my goodness.
Loves his job. He'll be 14 in December, and he's still going strong.
14.
He is amazing, and he does a really cool trick, you guys.
Oh, can I get him to do it? Beamer? Are you allergic? Good boy.
Isn't that precious?
Beam, you allergic? Good boy. There you go. That was a good one. That was a better one.
Thank you so much for all you do.
Well, you know what? I love what I do. I love helping the families in the community. And we're all volunteers. We're a 501c3. And we need donations to keep us going so we can continue our mission. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Aw, I'd only seen big old dogs do that. It didn't even.
Hey, all, Mind the Monsters here. So we got to spend the day with Splash and Nova and the Peace River Canine Search and Rescue Team. Guys, they are a 501c3 and they only can survive on donations. I will include the link below in the comments. If you can, please click on their link, go to their site, and donate. They can only run on donations. And they do amazing work for the missing community and families.
I'll try to find that link to you guys. I'm sorry that I couldn't get us to her TikTok again. I hadn't signed in, and I figured if I tried to sign in, I'd forget my sign in and all that stuff. So I didn't want to make you guys wait, but I'll try to find that too. But I did drop Mind of Monsters link up there, and I'll drop it again. She is really sweet. And I thought it was so cool. I was trying to look up more about Splash, and I found somebody from our community. And when I messaged her, it's the first time I ever messaged her, and she was super, super kind, you guys. Absolutely. Yeah, Kathy, you might come back with something else. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that that's really interesting, Van, because I never thought about that, but they would be really good at that. And I know that it was just, a docudrama or whatever, like through the shorts that we see, but it was like this little fella on his bike was missing, and instead of getting one of the canine dogs to look for him, they go get his own dog, and his own dog led him right to him. It makes sense to me, you know. So animals are so smart. But it never crossed my mind that an otter could be trained to do that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you all so very much for coming to hang out with me again today. And I'm going to drop my email too. So if there's any cases that you see that we could bring awareness to, please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't care a bit to do what I can to use my platform for good. I'll always try to do my best to do that. Okay, I love you guys, and please don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, and I'll see you guys next time, okay?